everybody. Welcome back to Friends for Life's Midweek Mini. How are you doing today, Tony?
Hey, man, I'm good. How are you, sir?
I am still trying to wake up. I don't know what it is about a Wednesday morning when we're recording this, but I'm sleepy.
Caffeine is the friend of awakeness.
Yeah, apparently not, because I've been chugging coffee all morning, but that's beside the point. Today we got some more news for you guys in the disabilities field. We have an article here from our friends over at Disability Scoop, and it is about a woman who works in the film industry, and she's basically started a nonprofit because there's not any inclusion. It sounds like as the article says, basically, I think it's something like 2% of the film industry yearly has like people with disabilities in movies about them. So she's trying to make a difference in that, and she worked in the field, or she worked in the film industry, and she said she had leg braces, and she was like at Cannes Film Festival, and there was no accessible way for her to get in the building. She said it was super like embarrassing for her. She had to be carried in a door. She's like directing this movie, and she said
sucks.
it was, and then all these parties and stuff are at these exclusive hotels, and she can't get in. There's not accessible, all this stuff. So trying to make a difference in that. So it's crazy at every turn. It seems like when we're researching all this stuff, it's just a more and more visibility on how inaccessible a lot of places are, even with our ADA requirements and all of that stuff. So that's a long road to overcome. How far do you think we would have to go to make everything accessible? Because I mean,
how many billions of dollars do people have to spare?
Yeah,
that's really the case, because if you look at it, I mean, Tinseltown was made on the rich and famous, So think about already the number of people who don't have a developmental difference, in that aspect. And yes, people, we're using a new term. I mean, I think this is the perfect time to actually start it. We've had a couple of new guests, and after speaking with some guests, and we actually had a gentleman decline to be on because he hates the term.
Yep.
And, at first I was like, well, I'm trying to help. We're trying to help, and we have to look at ourselves, and there's so many ways that disability, like we have a shirt that says, "Don't diss my ability." And we don't want people to feel as if they can't be included, a lot like this article. So we all have differences. So that's what we're going to be fighting, a struggle to change the wording or the perception of how DD is terminalized. And I think developmental differences is a good way to do it.
Yeah, and it is, and that's what we're trying to do here. I mean, we have to learn ourselves. I mean, you've basically worked in this field your whole life. I mean, your adult life basically, and you're still learning stuff every day, and this is what you do. And I definitely am a lot newer than you. So it's a learning curve, and you don't, without having these difficult conversations, you don't know. It's just like conversations around race and everything. It's just
when somebody speaks up and there's a legitimate, concern about it, I think it is recognized by people. I think we talked about this in another Midweek Mini when I was talking about how my wife didn't want me to kind of confront somebody about a situation. And it was more or less just because of that. Like, we have to learn. And it takes for people to get out the norm to teach us. Now, that doesn't mean that you just go out and you be a butthole about it. Shout out to Maddox. You see, I used butthole again.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's something that we just have to overcome, those roadblocks. Personally, I mean, and you can't take offense to it. I mean, it's like someone doesn't want to come on the show. They don't want to come on the show. We can't force people to come on the show. Right. I mean, you can't blame them. But back to the article. So this lady is saying, her nonprofit is calling on studios to add disabilities to their diversity policies, and to employ people with disabilities at all levels and create more content about disability by and with people with disabilities, because the article also stated that I think it said up to 12% of actors that play roles of someone with a disability don't actually have a disability.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, acting is acting, but, you know.
Well, it almost goes back to like what you said, even with ethnicity and stuff. You know, for The Simpsons, Apu, historically was never played by an actual Indian or person of brown skin.
Yeah. Yep. And
I had to go.
The worst one was Tropic Thunder.
Oh man, Robert Downey Jr. But it was hilarious. Like, and look, I have a hard time having comedic art criticized.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, so yeah, this is something I had no idea about. I mean, but I guess it really does make a lot of sense. You know, I mean, Hollywood is already very like buddy, like you have to have your ins and stuff, and if you have a disability, I'm sure it's much more difficult to get into that what do you call it, tight knit circle of people,
the in crowd.
Yeah, and it's all about the plastic surgery and the fake good looks and all that stuff. So no surprise there, to be completely.
I'm gonna get my eyeballs done.
But this quote here at the end is kind of what really stuck out to me. She's saying, you know, it's not just about me getting into the screening room. It's about everyone who is otherized, quote unquote, getting into these rooms. She said, because if you don't, then the otherized artists who we might have connected with don't get discovered, and their voices get lost, and their stories don't get told. And I think that human nature is storytelling. We're all compelled to be drawn to stories, and you know, missing out on that whole area of storytelling in the disability world is really sucks. I mean, we have these more compelling documentaries coming out, like we always talk about Crip Camp, and you know, somewhat fictional stories like Peanut Butter Falcon, all that stuff. It's good to see that stuff, and I almost feel like, you know, those movies open my eyes a lot, and I'm sure they would for anybody, because it shows a different side to the world. It's not just an other. It becomes humanizing people, you know, rather than just being like, oh, shoving them in a corner. Oh, they have a disability. Whatever. Get out of here. We don't want it. So I think it's a great thing, and more people need to speak out about this stuff. And you know, I like the way that she put that. So
yeah, otherized.
That's a cool word.
It is. I'm gonna have to start using that too.
Yeah. All right. So thank you everybody for watching or listening to this week's Midweek Mini. If you can help us out, if you're watching this on YouTube, go down below and hit the subscribe button.
And the thumbs up.
Ring the bell. Make sure to like the video. That really helps us out. And if you're listening, please head over to iTunes or Stitcher and leave us a rating or review. All you got to do is click that little star button, 5-star button, and that's it. You've done us a huge favor by doing that. So thank you all. We'll see you next week.
Whoop.